Hi everyone, my name is Matias Rocha. I'm part of Oakland City University, and today I will be presenting a study for social psychology class. The study I will talk about today is one of the most famous and controversial studies in social psychology, which is the Stanford Prison Experiment. It was conducted by Philip Zimbardo in 1971. The research question Zimbardo wanted to answer was, how do social roles and the environment influence people's behavior, especially in situations involving power and authority, like in prisons, for example? So he basically hypothesized that if ordinary people are placed in situations with unequal power, like wards and prisoners, they will quickly conform to their assigned roles. So he basically was expecting that people in positions of authority, like wards, might start to be abusive or start to behave in a more abusive way, even if they were not violent or aggressive before. So this experiment took place in the basement of Stanford University, and he wanted to make it truly real. That's why he was making like students were wearing uniforms, like they were police officers, and the prisoners were wearing also like the prisoner of uniforms. So this experiment was planned to last 2 weeks, but it only lasts 6 days because everything went out of control. Because the wards start to humiliate and mistreat the prisoners. And then some prisoners also start to become more anxious, depressed, and emotionally unstable. He was also part of the experiment. I mean, Zimbardo was part of the experiment. He is supposed to act as the prison superintendent, and he got caught up in a role and he lost his objectivity. So the results were shocking because the participants quickly adapted their roles. The wards become more aggressive and authoritarian, and the prisoners became more passive and obedient. So this study shows basically that people's behavior can change directly, drastically, depending on the situation and the role they are given. About the conclusion of my personal reflection, Zimbardo concluded that social roles and environmental factors have a powerful impact on human behavior. Because ordinary people can become harmful or cruel. Because there are some places where systems support these behaviors, so it's where people can become in that way. I personally completely agree with Zimbardo's main conclusion, which is basically that context and authority can strongly influence how people act. However, I think the experiment have serious ethical problems because the participant experienced some like emotional distress, and they were not fully aware of what they might go through. What I could improve in this experiment is let the students leave the experiments whenever they don't feel comfortable anymore. In conclusion, the Stanford Prison Experiment demonstrate how easily normal people can be influenced by social role and power structures. It basically remains one of the most powerful examples of how situations, not just personalities, shape human behavior. Thank you so much for listening and for your time.